Mario here brought me up. He's been my mother my whole life. This is Rebooting the Beast, a podcast in two parts. I'm Matt Molinaro.
And I'm En Burke. In the first episode, we review an original piece of media, and in the subsequent episodes, we discuss the rebooted material.
Yeah, and here we are. Bum.
We are doing the Super Mario Brothers live action movie from 1993.
We certainly are. And what a trip down memory lane this turned out to be.
I was gonna say you've seen this before, right? Like as a kid?
100%. Multiple times.
I know I've seen it at least once, but I don't think I've watched it more than that, and it probably hasn't been since I was a child.
Oh, it's definitely been for me since, the 90s. Definitely since the 90s, for sure. I cannot imagine when I would have seen this again.
Or why.
And I've seen this on a lot of us doing the show, and since then I've seen this on so many different like top 10 lists of bad reboots, crazy movies, movies with a lot of behind the scenes lore. It's always one of those movies that gets mentioned, so I always see little supercut clips sets, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I totally remember this, but that's so it stayed fresh in my mind in that way, you know?
Yeah.
And that's it. It's just remained part of my, as I like to say, as Nick and I used to say, part of my television heritage.
Oh my god.
Have you?
Okay.
Do you remember what you thought about this when you saw this when you were younger? Because I do.
I don't. You know what? I don't remember what I thought about it when I was younger, but I know that the vibe of it is that it's terrible.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I thought of when I was younger.
Okay.
I liked it.
Did you really?
I liked it I know I did. I remember watching it voluntarily multiple times when it would like be on TV.
Uh-huh.
And I remember thinking, "Oh my god, how cool. A Mario movie." I remember the broad strokes of the movie.
Like the plot and all that, yeah.
Kind of. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen this a bunch, but clearly not enough, because upon rewatch, a lot of this was like, what? So, this was an experience, or an experiment, if you will, of like, okay, I remember liking this movie, for sure. I remember seeing it multiple times. I remember all of the feeling of liking it. But watching it now, I don't understand. What did I think I was watching?
Honestly, listeners, while I was watching, I texted Matt a gif of somebody just like rubbing their temples out of frustration and confusion, because I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
Flabbergasted. I mean, I have theories about what was going on in the minds of the folks who created this, which we could discuss throughout, but
I have actual trivia for you about why it ended up like it did.
Yeah, this I had to look up some of the trivia myself too. Sometimes I'll avoid it. I'm like, I'm not even going to look up too much because I want to hear what you're going to bring up, unless I'm really curious myself. But this one I was like, I need to know more. Like,
yeah.
This demanded an explanation. Not to spoil. I mean, we'll talk about our feelings about it, because you know there are peaks and valleys. Well, there's valleys and plateaus, but
yeah,
there's valleys and small molehills.
I don't even know if I go that far. Well, you know what? I take it back. There is one moment where I'm like, okay, I like this, and I will explain it when we get there.
There were a couple of moments where I felt that way. So, yeah, I was like, okay, redeeming qualities. But, oh, gosh, okay. Before we start, were there any expectations you had going in, or anything you were hoping to see from the first real, like, movie? The last one was movie, but, you know. Well, this was supposed to be inspired by that, right?
Kinda? Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So,
expectations, I mean, on paper, you've got the Mario universe, which doesn't have a ton of like complex characters, but it has plenty of lore.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got Bob Hoskins of Who Framed Roger Rabbit perfection. You've got John Leguizamo, who is perfection to look at.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Fiona Shaw, who is a phenomenal actress. You've got Dennis Hopper. So on paper, you've got a lot of really excellent materials to work with. And so you could look at this and go like, okay, this could be something pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's not, it turns out.
Yeah, my expectations were similar, and I remembered liking it. I knew that it has a reputation,
Yeah.
but I was going in presuming that most of the things that gives it a sort of like rotten reputation were going to be a product of the time, you know?
Oh, sure. Like maybe it was just kind of like cheesy at the moment. But,
Yeah, like,
you know,
super cheesy or like corny, or like the references were a little too on the nose, and like, you know, maybe they were like off on certain things. And the 90s were a time when a lot of people were like really experimenting with what the future looked like, and these sort of apocalyptic things could go one way or the other, like Judge Dredd. You know what I mean? Like, there were a lot of movies like that. So I thought it was just going to be that kind of thing that made it kind of cornball.
Mm-hmm.
So that was where I was coming from. Do you want the little summary from IMDb?
Yes, please.
Okay, and just, I don't know if we mentioned, but this is from 1993, so
yes,
put yourself there. 1993. I'm there. I'm in my living room. There's a wall unit.
Oh boy.
Massive TV that is so heavy and dusty. Right in the middle of it, it's on one of those like little swivel things. And we also have a little thing in the wall unit that pulls out and has all of our cassette tape, or our VHSs, in the plastic containers.
Mine had those kind of like glass doors that you like, that were sort of like magnetic clutches or clutches or whatever. So you like press it in to have it pop out, kind of thing.
I hear it. I hear the click. I hear the click. And all my like dad's little things he had behind those glass doors.
Mm-hmm.
If I could tell you the selection of things that he interested him at the time, it is just really, it'll place you right in 1993. There are Beanie Babies.
Oh boy.
In containers for them to keep them dust free within the wall unit. There are things from every country in Epcot.
Wow.
Yeah. And we had, oh my God, and we had a wall in our living room. A whole wall that was glass tiles. That mirror glass tiles.
Like the wall was mirrored tiles?
The entire wall was square mirrors.
Wow, I can't even picture that.
You know what it used to be before that?
What?
Chocolate brown.
Oof.
Okay, anyway, let's just take it in 1993. You want to hear the summary I said? Okay, here we go.
Yes.
Two Brooklyn plumbers, Mario and Luigi, must travel to another dimension to rescue a princess from the evil dictator King Koopa and stop him from taking over the world.
I'm so curious. I swear I thought he was named Bowser like way further back in the past, but even still up till 93, he's still King Koopa.
Yeah. I wonder.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's information out there. Maybe before next week I'll look it up because I'm curious like where Bowser came from, if it's similar to like Peach versus Toadstool, you know?
Yeah.
It's more the original, but just not Americanized.
Yeah. Well, I already mentioned all the actors in this movie, so should we just dive right into how it opens?
Yes, and I agree with you, by the way. On all the actors, I was excited when I saw who they were, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I forgot, this was the cast." I remember John Leguizamo, obviously, because he is just delicious, but I didn't remember everyone else, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, okay." Yeah.
Well, it opens with a computerized narration about the dinosaurs, and it says like Brooklyn 65 million years ago, and it's talking about how, well, first of all, the computer animation has a skunk at the same time as the dinosaurs, which that's not a thing. And then they're talking about how if a meteor destroyed the world, but like, what if the dinosaurs weren't destroyed? What if the meteor crashing into the earth caused an alternate universe, and where like dinosaurs were still the thing, and what if they found a way back? And then we just jump cut to Brooklyn 20 years ago. Anything to say about that little computerized opening?
I was like, what? What? I was like, are we creating a new backstory for the Mario universe?
Okay, I have to say, I feel like this movie's so ridiculous, I'm going to have to mention some of the trivia throughout.
Absolutely, because I know there's a lot.
Yeah, so one of the pieces of trivia about this is that this computerized opening was the last thing that was added to the movie because they were doing test screenings of the movie and like nobody could understand what was happening because they were like, what do you mean there's an alternate universe, but are these lizard people? What's going on here? So they added this last minute to try to just like explain it all to the audience.
Yeah, that tracks because there's no what you just explained has no semblance of Mario whatsoever. Anything in the Mario world other than the fact that the word dinosaur.
Okay, here's my whole thing about this movie. This movie is like they couldn't quite, this whole movie has very much the vibes of they couldn't quite get the rights to all of the Super Mario material. They could only get like the name, and then they had to like do like, instead of like Dr. Pepper, they had to do like Senor Pepper or something like that. Like it was very like off-brand Mario because nothing was right. Nothing was right.
Yeah, it's like when you go to the store and you don't get the Fruit Loops, you get Fruit Loopers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This felt like, and I know why a little bit now after reading about it afterwards, but this felt like a movie where, and I know this isn't what happens, but it could have been, and just been exactly the same, where the people created a movie and had no idea what Super Mario Brothers was, and they actually didn't plan to make anything about it Mario. Like, they made a movie about a alternate universe and aliens that resemble dinosaurs and a group of heroes that have to save the day, and their names could have been anything. And then they pitched it to a room of people, and they were like, you know, it's just missing something. It's just missing something. It doesn't stand out. These characters don't mean anything to anybody. So they were like, what's a fandom out there right now that's popular? Mario? All right, well, we got two guys. Let's just name them Mario and Luigi. We got a bunch of enemies. Let's give them names of Mario characters, and that'll be enough.
That's exactly how it feels.
No semblance to Mario at all. Alternate universe 65 million years ago was created by a meteorite, and it just happens to be where Brooklyn is, where skunks live with dinosaurs, and and this part. Okay, so that part already, what's going on in this world was my thought, because it's not even like we've had games with Mario where they like travel through time and stuff.
Yeah,
this is never part of it.
This is never part of it, no.
Then the 20 years ago scene was even more confusing.
Where Little Red Riding Hood is running through Manhattan.
Carmen Sandiego.
Carmen Sandiego meets Little Red Riding Hood, is running through Brooklyn, and drops off a big mechanical urn, it looks like, with a little crystal on top of it at a church.
That was a prop from another movie. I cannot imagine that whatever that thing was, the urn, was made for this movie.
Yeah. And then she goes down a manhole and like runs through the sewers, and suddenly a man wearing a bunch of like military uniform comes up. He looks like a Nazi. He comes up behind her and grabs her and says, "Where's the rock?" And then it cuts back to the urn, and the nuns at the church are like watching an egg come out of it, and the egg hatches, and inside the egg is a human baby.
A human baby in the egg that's inside of the prop from The Rocketeer.
I was so mystified by this, and then it just goes Brooklyn.
What was the mystifying about that? And haven't you ever played a Mario game?
You know what? That's fair. I do forget all of the human births that happen through eggs in Super Mario games.
I mean, in Yoshi's story, I think like you can't you can like eat Baby Mario and poop him out as an egg.
You can definitely eat things and put them out as eggs, yes.
This is that.
Sure, exactly. Just a few creative liberties.
And then I was like, and then I thought to myself, when this egg hatched and the baby came out, I was like, is this how they're gonna say Mario was born?
I was trying to think the same thing, or then I was like, is this Koopa? But then he looked human, which doesn't make sense and still won't later in the movie.
No, well, we'll get there, I guess.
So now we're in Brooklyn now, and we cut to probably the cheesiest, most stereotypically decorated apartment you could imagine two plumbing brothers would live in, because they have a rack of like wall-mounted plungers on display like they're hunting rifles. And
It's like
basically
when
John
you go
Lithgow
on Trading Spaces and
Uh-huh.
someone finds out that you like coffee, and then you come back and your room is a cafe from Paris.
That's correct. That's exactly right. John Leguizamo is looking hot, watching basically, conspiracy theory television.
I love John Leguizamo.
I do too. I think
like
he's
him as
very
a
cute.
Human being, I think he's
Yes.
always been so attractive to me. Even little closeted me was so crushing on John Leguizamo all the time, and I've just always loved his outspoken nature and honesty.
Yeah, he's very vocal and politically active and an ally to queer people. Love that. And he was amazing in Romeo and Juliet, which actually, now that I think about it, we could probably do a Romeo and Juliet rebooty.
Oh, we should, because that movie from that soundtrack still.
Oh, one of the best soundtracks of all time.
Still.
Yeah, still.
Anyway.
Okay, so there's newspaper articles about missing girls. We learn about there's a construction site that's like being shut down as people are looking for dinosaur bones. And we kind of like cut to that. And there's a plucky young archaeologist from NYU named Daisy, who is standing up to a man named Scapelli, who's like this big mob boss who like threatens to make her disappear.
Very, very Mario. You're there, right? This is so Mario.
So Mario.
Daisy being a political activist, tying herself to a tree, basically. Very.
I don't know.
Very in her lore.
Did you just hear me say Mario?
I did. In retrospect.
All right, well, episode over. Okay, then we've got a scene where like two goons are eating hot dogs. For some reason, they get two hot dogs and take the buns off. It's never explained why.
Because they're crazy. Oh.
And they are cartoonish. These two, Matt, here's the whole vibe of this movie. The vibe, like the production caliber and the vibe of this movie and like the level of acting is exactly Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
You're being like generous. I think you're even being generous by saying that.
I mean, tell me that these two actors here playing, I think their names are like Spike and Iggy or something.
Spike and Iggy, yeah.
Tell me that they are not exactly the like kind of like fat bully and like skinny weaselly bully from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, they are Bebop and Rocksteady. I wrote the Cherry Poppin' Daddies are eating hot dogs in a car.
Matt, I cannot even believe you said Bebop and Rocksteady, because the whole time, so up until this moment, I've been watching them thinking like, oh, these are the two kind of guys who were like, I was like, at some point, everybody's going to get, here's what I thought was going to happen. Because we've got like Scapelli, the mob boss. We've got these two goons. We've got the Daisy character. We've got Mario and Luigi. At some point, I was like, they're all going to end up through a dimension where some of them are going to get transformed. And I was like, Scapelli is going to be Bowser. Mario and Luigi obviously will be Mario and Luigi. And then I, for some reason, in my mind thought, these two are going to be Bebop and Rocksteady for sure. And then I like probably 20 minutes later was like, that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They are definitely not going to be Bebop and Rocksteady.
I mean, honestly, they could have been. It wouldn't have made a difference. It wouldn't have been confusing because it wouldn't have been any more or less Mario by having characters from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in it.
Very true. Okay,
yeah,
so
these two were the worst things ever. They literally have the acting of cartoon characters in a commercial.
Yes. They are stalking Daisy, and one of them says, "Is that her?" And the other one says, "2 arms, 1 head, 2 legs. That's her." Mm-hmm. So it literally could have been any human with all of their limbs. Mm-hmm. Let's see. So they kind of like chase her. Daisy runs into Luigi at a payphone, and he gives her the quarter to use the payphone, which time warp.
Right. Oh my gosh. Payphones.
And she like wants security at the dig site, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's all just like plot device to get Luigi and Daisy to kind of flirt with each other. And then they all go out to dinner. here's
Yeah,
my
you know,
thing.
they offer her a ride in their van, strangers, and she's like, "Okay, I'll get in."
Right. And then let's go out to dinner
Yes.
on a date with this person I've met for 30 seconds and
Yes,
his
but Luigi's
brother,
very much like
question
that.
mark?
What's that?
And with his brother, question mark?
Right, with his brother, and his brother's like, "Yeah, let's do." Actually, his brother's like, "Yeah, let's do it. I'm into
So,
this." Which
Also, I don't. Here's one thing. You're going to be mad at me for saying this. I've never liked Daisy
You're
in the Mario universe.
I've always loved Daisy. Always, she's probably one of my favorite characters. Huge Daisy fan, and Davey, my partner, knows I love Daisy, so he was being rotten in this movie. He was like, "Oh, this is the movie Daisy gets."
But was this supposed like? I don't know the origins of Daisy in the Mario universe. Is this actually supposed to be Daisy, or was this supposed to be? I mean, I guess it must.
No,
it
it's supposed to be Daisy because she's in Super Mario Land.
Okay.
Which predates all this. She's the first Game Boy princess.
Oh, okay. So this really is supposed to be Daisy, and that's why she's into Luigi and not Peach and Mario.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I have some other issues with that then later on, but we'll get there.
Yeah, I just don't see any resemblance to the Daisy character in the game at all. Again, even less than anyone else.
Yeah. So at dinner, we see that she's wearing the stone from the urn that she was abandoned with, and we learn she was like abandoned at a church or whatever, and she and Luigi bond over that. Because Luigi was apparently didn't know who his parents were either, and Mario raised him. And so it's sort of like, who are you to each other? Are you even related? Or is this just a man who kidnapped you and put you into like indentured servitude as a plumber?
Oh my god. I mean, honestly, though, that's where the quote came from, where Mario was his mom his whole life.
Right.
What are you talking about? I thought you were brothers. What is going on? What is going on here? And it was like, where is this backstory of them not knowing their history? Where is this backstory of Daisy, this whole Daisy thing? And I was like, oh, by the way, the stone is like literally it's like something you get in a game, like Pretty Princess.
100%. It looks very shitty.
Yes. And she's, it's her most prized possession, so she wears it around her neck everywhere she goes. I didn't understand the Mario and Luigi thing at this point either. Davey literally said, like, at the beginning of the movie, the age difference was like, are they brothers or not? And then at this point, he's like, wait, is he his dad?
Honestly, it makes no sense. And for some reason, so it's a double date, and Mario is there with a woman, I guess he's dating, whose name I forget. Maybe it's like Pauline or something. No, it's not Pauline.
I got it here. It's Daniela Verducci, the classic Mario character. Mario's always playing. Every time you're playing Mario, he's like chasing that Verducci girl in the castle. He's always like, Daniela. It's like, so classic. I was like, I'm so glad Daniela's in this movie. Daniela Verducci. Yeah,
thank God they pulled that from the Mario lore, because it's central, I would say.
It's central. And Daniela Verducci is basically, for anyone who hasn't seen this movie or hasn't played Super Mario Brooklyn, she is Marissa Tomei from My Cousin Vinny.
Oh, I was going to go with either Fran Fine from The Nanny or Janice from Friends.
She's all three. She's all three, and so is every other woman she meets in this movie.
Correct, yes. There's a lot of like Italian Brooklyn women who are very like just all three of those characters with no depth.
Yes.
So they all split up because Luigi wants to walk Daisy home, and Mario drives home with Daniela Verducci. And for some reason, the goons at this point seem to have facial blindness because they think that Daniela is Daisy, the one that they were chasing earlier and trying to kidnap. So instead of chasing Daisy now, they go and kidnap Daniela Verducci.
Classic.
So, and by the way, Daisy is a 20-year-old woman with a blonde bob, and Daniela Verducci is a woman wearing leopard print with her boobs on display and big teased black hair. So they could not look... Aquanet. They could not look more different, but apparently these two can't tell faces apart.
And they were there together.
Correct.
They saw two women.
Yes. Anyway, so Luigi and Daisy go to the dig site, and oh my god, this kills me. So she's showing him these archaeological digs of like dinosaur bones, and it's not a protected site. They're just like walking all over bones. And
Stepping on
she
the
says,
bones.
right. And she says, these are all strange new species. They have opposable thumbs, as if he was a monster trying to be a human being. Okay.
And then she goes, it's beautiful.
And then
and he goes, you're beautiful. And I was like, nothing's more romantic than comparing me to a monster trying to be a human being.
Yes, yes. So just then, like, a bunch of pipes burst because the Scapelli mob syndicate, who also has a plumbing business, has like turned on all the water and is like trying to ruin the dig site or whatever.
Just by coincidence timing. They were just in there, middle of the night, ready to burst a pipe.
Now, let's just take a pause here and recognize that Luigi is there, who is a plumber, and he says, I know exactly what to do. And they leave the dig site and go running through Brooklyn and go get Mario and take him back to the tunnels to fix the pipes. What?
And why?
Why? So then, while Mario and Luigi are fixing the pipes, the goons are in the tunnels, and I guess at this point realize they've gotten it wrong. We don't ever see a scene of them realizing they've kidnapped the wrong woman, but they go and kidnap Daisy. And they like knock Mario and Luigi out, but they're chasing after her. They're hearing her call for help, and then they end up in this room with a horrifying computer VFX wall of sand.
That wall of sand. I felt like I was playing a game on the family computer.
Yeah, I was playing Myst.
Yes, Myst. Oh my god, yes, the horrifying wall of sand. And then we see the face through the sand going, Mario.
Terrifying.
It's the worst. It was a screensaver. It was like a Winamp visualizer.
Yes. And for some reason, Luigi tries to like grab at Daisy, but accidentally rips her necklace off. So now he's in possession of her stone, ugly, pretty princess necklace.
Yes.
And then they decide to go after her, and they jump through the sand wall and fall through an animation of like geodes and tie-dye.
Oh my god. The graphics of them falling into this other world.
It was, do you remember the when James Mansfield from season 9 of Drag Race did her tumbling thing, and then her tumbling through like space to that song was like all over the internet? That's exactly what this looked like.
Yes. It was like public access television graphics. It was Groove is in the Heart music video did a better job.
Yes, very Groove is in the Heart. And then they end up in what, at first I was like, are they in a rave? And then here we go. Here's one of the biggest issues with this movie. The alternate dimension that they land in, this is kind of like the conceit of the movie, is that it's sort of like a Mad Max steampunk punk rock world that is like every person for themselves.
Yeah.
Not a like great place to live. But again, which is just classic Mario. That is
every Mario
central to every Mario game.
I hate when you go through the pipe and you think you're going to go to one of those underwater rounds, and then you end up in the middle of one of those post-apocalyptic cities floating in the middle of a desert, and you have to go and meet with like the mob boss. Oh my god, I hate that.
Yes. So they're in this rave. They're trying to chase Daisy. Daisy gets stuck in a cab and driven away.
Can I just say, all of this Koopa City that they're in or whatever, it's all like Koopa Square, Koopa City. It's supposed to be like, you know, Koopa themed, but it's... And all the people there, by the way, make no sense. It literally looks like a Spirit Halloween exploded. It is so bad, so badly done. It looks like... Do you remember Kids Incorporated?
No.
Okay, Mickey Mouse Club vibes. Kids Incorporated was like that. But, oh my god, Fergie got her start on Kids Incorporated.
Oh.
Anyway, it was like one of those 80s sets like you would see on Star Search, and they just threw a bunch of like, here's some netting, here's a broken brick.
Yes.
And everyone was just dressed kooky. There was no theme. It was just like, dress kooky.
It was very Burning Man by way of Spirit Halloween. influenced by the wheelies from The Wiz.
Oh, very that. Oh my god, if it had that kind of vibe of like The Wiz, but it just felt like they were going for something they didn't have the budget for at all.
Yeah, at all. Okay, so do you want to hear a piece of trivia?
Yes.
At this point. So, one of the reasons this movie is so bad is that there were people who wrote the script and then they were fired, and other people were brought in and they revised the script. So this script ended up being like this complete Frankenstein of a script with like a million different hands on it, and like different directors attached, and like it started out, apparently this was supposed to be like a really serious movie that like explored the relationship between Mario and Luigi, and it was supposed to be like aimed more for adults, and that's why like Fiona Shaw and Dennis Hopper and Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo all agreed to do it, was they thought this was going to be like not a kids movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another reason they have this like post-apocalyptic thing. It was supposed to be this like dystopian kind of world, blah, blah, blah. And then so they had like built all these sets and like done all this costume design, and that's the movie they were going to make. And then apparently somebody like higher up decided, actually, let's make this a kids movie. And that's when it started being like written by committee and passed around and Frankenstein together. And so but they had already invested all this time and money in this like Mad Max style world. And so they just had to go with it and like shoehorn a kids movie into this not kids movie type vibe setting.
Okay. Two things about that.
Yes.
That makes sense. I can understand all of that. I still think, let's say they had their way and they didn't have to shoehorn the kid stuff in, quote unquote.
Yes.
Kid stuff. And they went with this gritty, post-apocalyptic, strange storyline, whatever. Let's say a lot of the weird stuff even got cut out for the sake of this. I don't understand how this still does anything for the story of Mario and Luigi, and I also do not see how this could have been turned around and edited in a way where the story changed in a way that made it a good movie in either incarnation. I really don't.
Yeah, it's still, even knowing all of that, it still seems like it's destined to be a dumpster fire, but
it just
also
doesn't feel Mario at all. Let's say it's a story about, and even if you say it's not Mario and Luigi, it's two brothers, I still don't see it.
I know.
And then on top of that whole like situation of all the different, too many cooks, so to speak.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of like when you watch a group challenge on a reality show, like
oh god, yes,
RuPaul's Drag Race or Project Runway.
Yes.
And they have to be cohesive, but they all have come in with a preconceived notion of what they think the best thing is, and they're like, you know what, I'm just going to do what I do best, and it's going to be better than everyone else's, so it's going to be fine, and my idea will be the best one in the movie, and they'll like it the best.
And like they're like, our only connecting through line is we all have rivets on the clothing that we're making, and it's going to be a cohesive line because of the rivets. And
yes,
then
the ribbon that we chose
like,
at the end because one person had it and wouldn't give it up.
Exactly.
And I just feel like I have to mention this. Can't believe we haven't mentioned this yet. We are how far into this movie now, and have you ever seen a scrap of fabric on Mario that's been red or on Luigi that's been green through the entire movie?
No, and that, another piece of trivia, that does not happen until 66 minutes into the movie.
I was like, are we just never going to be ever in our colors ever?
No. So we get a scene where Fiona Shaw and Dennis Hopper, and they're like, blah, blah, we have to get the princess, yada, yada.
Can you please talk about their acting and their characterizations of their characters, please?
Okay, so Fiona Shaw, first of all, they like to do this thing in this movie to just remind you that these are people who evolved from snakes. Mm-hmm. Dinosaurs. And they like shake their head side to side really fast while making like rattlesnake sounds.
Is that what that was?
That's what that was, yes.
I did not know what was happening until just now with all of those things that were happening. I was like, why randomly do some of these characters' heads do this like crazy oscillating effect?
Yeah.
What is this? And the dancing. Oh my God. Okay, anyway.
Listeners, if you have never seen the movie Troll 2, first of all, you need to go watch it immediately. And then secondly, for its own sake, but then also to understand that Fiona Shaw's acting is entirely inspired by the evil witch from Troll 2. It is uncontrolled mania at all times.
At all times, at a 12, and I like her too. And I was shocked.
I love her.
By what
She's
I was
a great
seeing.
actress.
Yes, this was so wild to me. And if you've ever seen the old Gushers commercials where the kids' heads would turn into big pieces of fruit,
Yes.
the way their heads would shake before they turned into pieces of fruit is what happens to these characters randomly.
Yes.
I'm not exaggerating.
And then Dennis Hopper, I would describe his acting as
Sexual predator?
a sexual predator. I was going to say sort of like if you went to Palm Springs and found like a discount furniture store, he is the old gay man who runs the furniture, the like rundown furniture store, and has predator vibes.
Has a secret.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, Dennis Hopper plays Koopa, and she plays Lena?
Another critical Mario character. I can't believe you don't remember Lena.
Yeah, every time you see Koopa, right next to him, Lena.
Yep. Which, by the way, I didn't like even catch her name, so I just refer to her as Fiona throughout my entire notes. Okay, so we learned they want to break on through to the other side. They are tired of living in this shitty universe, and they want to merge the dimensions and go into the world that the humans lived in.
Yeah. And in case you don't know that they're bad guys, every time Lena speaks, she talks like this.
Okay. We cut back to Mario and Luigi. They've got the rock, and then an old lady is talking to them, and then she cattle prods Mario and steals the necklace from them.
With a laser
and
gun.
then with a laser gun, and then gets beat up by basically Evermean from The Wiz and thrown off a bridge. And she now has the necklace and jumps away on big spring shoes.
Yeah, that basically says it all. I mean, it's just like Mario 3.
Yeah,
When you get to level 4. It's
her
just
character
like the
her character is named Big Bertha, another core Mario character.
Well, okay, I looked it up. Big Bertha is a character in Mario.
She's Big Bertha's the big cheap, right?
Yeah, she's a big fish. In this,
Yeah.
she's
A dominatrix.
She is Queen Latifah from Chicago as Matron Mama Morton in a Club Kid from the 1980s look.
Yes, wearing moon shoes.
Wearing moon shoes. And the moon shoes are presented over and over throughout this movie as though you're going to see it and be like, oh, Mario! As though it's a mushroom or like a star or a fireflower.
I mean, in Mario 3, there is that little bouncy boot, but it is not this.
It is not this. And by the way, these moon shoes we later see are powered by putting in a battery, basically, and the battery is a bullet bill.
Yes.
Okay. Just like
Okay.
Mario.
We have to move along. So we run into Toad, who is a singer in this one. He gets arrested, as do the Mario brothers, for some reason.
He has a mohawk and a spiral shaved into his head.
Yes.
And he looks like Perez Hilton.
Yeah. For some reason, they get taken to jail where they get Nickelodeon gack dumped on them and then smoke shoved down their pants and then stuck in a big, like, chicken coop with Toad.
Oh my god. That is
and then
Nickelodeon gag.
And then Koopa shows up and is like, I'm gonna de-evolve you all, because he's developed this technology of evolution and de-evolution, which is a switch. It's switch to evolve, switch to de-evolve. And he de-evolves Toad into a Goomba, which doesn't make sense. And the Goombas, by the way, bear no resemblance to the Mario Goombas. They're basically Tim Burton characters. They're the like shrunken head guys, but instead of the little shrunken heads, they are lizard tiny heads.
I was shocked. I think this is the biggest, most egregious, wildest thing about the whole movie, honestly, is the design of the Goombas.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Okay, I know I just said we have to move on, which we do, but I just have to point out one line where they're talking about evolution, and Dennis Hopper who by the way is wearing like basically cornrows. I was like, this is not a hairstyle that a white person should be wearing.
Many choices were made for style-wise in this movie.
Yes. They're talking about evolution, and he's talking to Mario about how they evolved from monkeys. And then Mario says, quote, I wrote this down. What single cell organism did you evolve from? And Dennis Hopper answers, Tyrannosaurus Rex. That is not a single cell organism.
Nor is it what King Koopa is.
Correct.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah. So
Have they heard
they
of a
like
turtle?
managed to get away. They steal a cop car. There's a bunch of chase scenes.
Let me see.
They like Thelma and Louise it out of a tunnel into the air, but they're saved by all this fungus goo. Oh, this is a recurring theme through the movie.
But
There's
wait,
this weird fungus.
Who Thelma and Louise is out of? Are you talking about the group of women? On
No,
the
no, no.
mattress?
Mario and Luigi, they drive through the tunnel and it goes shooting out the end of the tunnel into the air and it gets caught in a net of the fungus.
Oh my God! Yes, the fungus.
Yes.
The fungus net.
Yes.
What do you? When they said this was fungus, I was like, "That's fungus."
No, it's not. It's Spirit Halloween spider webs.
It's flesh colored, just netting.
It's gross.
It looks like
Yeah.
you're watching an alien movie, and like an alien gave birth, and this was what it came out of, and it's left over a husk.
Correct.
Very weird.
One other thing, we've got Dennis Hopper and Fiona Shaw taking a mud bath, which is silver for some reason.
Mhm.
And Dennis Hopper says, do you know what I love about mud? It's clean and dirty at the same time.
Oh my God!
And that was the entirety of that scene. For some reason, we needed that.
Much needed.
Okay. At some point, they evolve Spike and Iggy because they're so stupid, and then they're smart, and they start saying things like, "This is how you know they're smart." They get out of the evolution machine, and they're like, "The square root of blah 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 is blah 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 blah."
Oh, indubitably, absolutely.
Indubitably,
Yeah, they do
yes.
like British accents now, and they
Yes.
they say word salad, so they
Yes.
they're destined to be men on microphones in the future. And
Oh my god!
I just thought to myself, if that was a possibility the whole time, why did you ever just let them be like terrible and idiotic?
Yeah.
Anyway, or
Okay,
any of them.
skipping-
Why don't you just evolve everyone that you're in a group with?
Skipping around a little bit, my favorite movement in the movie comes up, which is Mario and Luigi are in the desert, and John Leguizamo has his shirt off, and I think that is the peak point of this movie.
That was a great part when they just had him shirtless for a while. I was like, okay, they know what they're doing. They got me back.
Yes,
I
he's
get
also wearing his tool belt is rainbow striped.
I noticed that as well.
Love that.
I was
Thank
not mad
you.
at that at all. They also
Thank you,
have
John Leguizamo.
recruited, well, not yet, but we also we see that Daisy is being held prisoner with a small dinosaur,
Yes.
and it's Yoshi.
Yes.
Which, by the way, we find
Apparently-
out Yoshi because after she's in it for 4 scenes without it having a name, she just calls it Yoshi as though it's Yoshi. And Yoshi is like an animatronic robot thing.
Yes, and a fun piece of trivia about that is it was such an impressive piece of puppetry that the people from like Jurassic Park came and looked at it and were really impressed by it because this was like right around the same time that Jurassic Park was being done.
That makes sense. I mean, it looked like a lot of work for something that they didn't use very much.
Correct, and
To be
had no
honest.
plot line and also looked absolutely nothing like Yoshi.
Nothing like Yoshi at all. It looked like a little random dinosaur, like any of the other random dinosaurs. And we also find out that the whole reason all of this, like this world, these two worlds being close together happened was because of the explosion of the Scapelli company in the real world trying to like build a place.
Yes.
So in theory, anytime someone does any construction in the real world, this could have happened.
Yeah, it causes a dimensional rift.
Dimensional rift. Wild.
So
And now then somehow Big Bertha gets the stone now.
yeah, Big Bertha has the stone at this point. They have to like get it back from her. They go to a dance club where people are shaking like rattlesnakes.
That was great. That was a scene I really needed to see. Everyone shaking like rattlesnakes because I didn't know what that was at the time. So now I know what that was. But at the
Yes.
time I was like, is my video broken?
Mario dances with Big Bertha, and at first she's not into it, but then he's suave and he steals the necklace while they're dancing. And then she decides she's on their side and she like protects them from the cops who show up and
With no reason, by the way. She was just
No reason. She's
like tricked by him.
yes, tricked by him. He stole from her, and now she's on their side.
Yeah. And they keep doing this random thing where Luigi sees little things in the fungus moving around as though something
Yes.
is some sort of big clue, as though it's not obvious that the fungus is everywhere. The
Yes.
fungus is talking to us. I was like, just get out of here.
We get a scene where Dennis Hopper is talking to a giant egg sack that is floating above a throne.
That is literally a testicle, and
It's literally a testicle.
it is literally a monster testicle that drops and recedes back into a area. It is the most bizarre choice they ever made in life to display fungus.
And now, 66 minutes into the movie, Mario and Luigi have changed into their traditional Mario and Luigi costumes.
Kinda.
Kinda,
The closest we're gonna get to it.
The closest we'll get. And there's a scene where probably a solid 5-minute scene where Luigi and Mario dance with Goombas in the elevator.
Can you explain that to me?
Absolutely not.
And
It made no sense. It was just filler.
and I'll just say this: it happens multiple times throughout the movie, but for some reason, I thought you were gonna have a piece of trivia about this that made sense to me based on the snake and rattlesnake thing. Listeners, a major plot point going forward in this, which you'll hear about dancing, is that the Goombas are somehow musical entities that are like hypnotized by the power of dance. So if they hear certain songs, they'll want to dance and stop what they're doing. You know, like in Mario. And if you just move them around from behind them, back and forth, they'll just stay dancing.
Correct.
Mario. Moving on.
So Fiona decides that she wants to be the one to merge the worlds. And so she goes after Princess Daisy and for some reason pulls a knife out of her butt crack and stabs Yoshi in the neck. And then
I was like, what?
Grabs Daisy.
I was like, I gasped when she stabbed Yoshi in the neck.
I literally was like, how dare you stab Yoshi in the neck? He's just a little baby.
Of all the creatures in this movie.
Let's see.
Gosh. Also, I never understood what was the motivation. They kept doing this thing like Lena wants to do it herself now, but they never really explained it. She just makes crazy faces and runs away.
Right. And it doesn't, the worlds would have merged anyway. So what does you doing it mean? Nothing.
Right. And then we find out that this whole reason that Daisy is so important is because her father is the testicle.
Yes, her father is the fungus testicle.
Yeah.
And
she was the baby in the 2XL.
Yes, she was the baby in the urn. And then let's see.
Does that mean that Lena was the Little Red Riding Hood, or was that her mom?
That was her mom.
Okay.
Let's see. Daisy introduces Mario and Luigi to her fungus dad.
To the big testicle goo. She frees Yoshi.
Yes, she frees Yoshi. Oh, Mario hears that Daniela has been kidnapped. Daniela Vertucci.
Daniela Vertucci is in a room of sex workers. Let's just say what it is.
Exactly. And he goes and rescues all of them.
And by the way, when they rescued all these girls, I was like, oh, this is the missing paper girls from the movie that never even needed to be a part of the movie.
Correct, yes. And we get like a 10-minute scene of them sliding on a mattress down a snowy pipe, and
that was fun
when they
and
come out,
pointless, but hey,
completely pointless, and apparently impossible to film because the Goomba heads kept falling off, so they had to keep shooting it over and over.
Well, because they were the size of Pez dispenser heads.
Also, apparently almost killed one of the women because when they went shooting out of the tunnel, one of the like guidelines wasn't appropriately attached, and so it was pulling them way faster than it should have, and they almost all of the women on that were the actual women actresses. Those were not stunt doubles, and they almost fell 25 feet onto direct concrete.
Can you imagine if that happened for this movie?
Yes, I can. I could absolutely. This movie very much has, you know how Wizard of Oz has that lore of like, you know, suicide, murder, and death and all of that kind of stuff. This movie has that same vibe. Like if somebody told me that like people were being killed backstage during this show and like being shot in the ankles for not doing their lines correctly, I would believe you.
I believe it. I also love this. This is now when the power boots become like a big thing again, right? And they use the power boots to bullet bill and jump away. And is this where Lena catches the falling gem and gets electrocuted?
Yes, she catches the gem, tries to use it, and her hair turns into Bride of Frankenstein.
That scene was Nickelodeon.
Straight up Power Rangers.
100%. And then she's in that. Then okay, so then they chase her. You know, they go through like a pipe, I think, right? And Lena is now holding the rock to like the barrier, which is just the floor.
Yes.
And I don't know what it's meant to be. Like, it's just supposed to... I guess because she's not Daisy, it's not really working. But she's just, like, holding it pathetically to the floor and screaming.
Correct.
And meanwhile, Mario is battling Bowser, quote-unquote Bowser, the guy with the cornrows, the blonde cornrows. And he finds a bomb on the ground, which is
Yes.
the size of...
A wind-up toy.
A marble, yeah.
Yeah.
And it just goes around forever.
Yeah.
It drops, nothing happens, and it's just gone.
Yeah, and they like there's fighting, there's flamethrowers, there's bad acting.
Bad acting.
So
Lena gets burnt
point...
out while she's doing the stone into the ground thing.
Uh-huh.
And they do this graphic of her getting like, I guess, too much power and electrocuted or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And they shoot her against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And she turns into a skeleton.
Yes.
With hair.
Yes, a skeleton with hair. Yes. And then,
I love when that happens in Mario.
But somehow the like worlds, everybody starts to get like Thanos snapped, and like the worlds are starting to merge, and everything's going wrong.
Oh yes. Oh no, it's too late.
Yeah, but Luigi and Daisy managed to pry the rock out of the portal, I guess.
Yeah, with plumbing tools.
Yes, but not before there's a moment in the real world where Koopa shoots Scarpelli, the mob boss, with the de-evolving gun and turns him into a monkey.
Now, can we talk about that scene for just a moment?
Sure.
For just a moment? In the real world, not in the Koopa world, in the real world, Brooklyn, 1993.
Yes.
Koopa shoots Scarpelli with a laser gun.
Yes.
Turning him into a monkey in front of a bunch of people. This all happens in the real world, and everyone laughs.
Oh, hang on. Back up. First, Koopa appears with an army of the tiny-headed Goomba monsters, right. And there's a crowd of people standing there like that is totally normal.
Normal.
And then, as you said, they shoot Scarpelli with a gun, he turns into a monkey, and instead of running in fucking terror, everybody claps.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. So,
back in the other world, Toad saves the day by playing the harmonica, because Goombas love harmonica, because they just cannot get enough of the Blues Brothers.
Yes. Oh, and then Mario gets a hold of the devolving gun, and they shoot Koopa, who for a while turns into a scary, really badly animated dinosaur, but then they keep shooting him, and eventually turns into, like, primordial goo, I guess? Yeah. And then the whole Koopa world claps, because they're, I guess, happy to be not under the thumb of King Koopa.
Which, it didn't seem like he did a lot to them. Like, he just kind of... They could have... I don't really know what he was really doing to them, besides making them, like call things Koopa themed.
Right.
The Bob Bomb, by the way, blew up. It ends up blowing up underground or something, and it was wearing Reebok shoes, so clearly there was a sponsorship there.
Yeah.
And then nothing makes sense, because Koopa exploding somehow turns the Mushroom King back to a human being?
Yes, the egg sac turns back into the king. And Daisy, John Leguizamo is like, okay, let's go back. And Daisy's like, I have to stay here and help my father put the kingdom back together. I'm like, number one, your father's an egg sac and you've never met him. You've never been in this world before. And You're just going to stay here?
Yes, you don't even know why did this even happen?
Right.
And then, but she's like, I'm going to stay here because lasers are shooting out of this rock now. So clearly something happened. And he wants her to go back, but if you love me, you'll understand, blah, blah. They kiss and see ya.
And then we get 3 weeks later, and we see Mario and Luigi back in their apartment with Daniela Fartucci.
Classic.
And they see themselves on the news. The news is reporting like, yep, a man came through and there was scary monsters and the Mario Brothers saved the day, and now we're going to call them the Super Mario Brothers. And then you're thinking, like, that's going to be the end of the movie. Wow, how stupid and cheesy. But then their front door gets kicked down, and it's Daisy looking like Ridley from Alien with a bazooka saying, I need your help. And that's the end of the movie.
You're never going to believe this. There was an after credits scene.
Oh, fuck. Was there?
Yeah. Oh, by the way.
Oh, I missed it.
Something that doesn't get explained, but Toad never turns back. He stays a Gooba.
Yeah.
But okay. Yeah, the after credits scene is really dumb. It's just a couple of businessmen from Japan talking to someone who you can't see on camera in Mario and Luigi's apartment, though, the set. And they're saying, we want to make a video game based on your life. What do you think? We're thinking about names. What do you think would be good names? And then they pan over, and you think it's going to be Mario and Luigi, but it's the Iggy and Spike.
Ugh.
And they go, how about 80s World? And the other one says, the
God.
Super Koopa Cousins. And then it's over.
So one thing so let me just look at the trivia that I haven't covered yet. First one, the earliest script involved being much closer to the video game, and Arnold Schwarzenegger was going to be playing King Koopa.
Okay.
When Dennis Hopper was asked why he made the film, he said that his 6-year-old said, who is now 18, told him once, Dad, I think you're probably a pretty good actor, but why did you play that terrible guy King Koopa in Super Mario Brothers? And I told him, well, Henry, I did that so that you could have shoes. And his son apparently replied, Dad, I don't need shoes that badly.
Fair enough.
Bob Hoskins in 2011 said that the film's production was, quote, a fucking nightmare. The whole experience was a nightmare. It was a husband and wife team directing whose arrogance had been mistaken for talent. And after so many weeks, their own agent told them to get off the set. Fucking nightmares, fucking idiots.
Yikes.
John Leguizamo said that he and Bob Hoskins hated working on the film so much that they would frequently get drunk just to make it through filming.
Yeah, I read that a lot, that they were drunk a lot.
Yes. Let's see. The de-evolution guns are repainted versions of the Super Nintendo gun accessory. So the actual Nintendo gun.
Not surprised.
The original director, Rocky Morton, once poured hot coffee on one of the extras' heads because he didn't like the extras' costume. So it sounds like it was a very, very toxic set.
Yeah.
However, this movie was Academy Award nominated. Bet you didn't know that.
I did
for
not
Best
know that.
Visual Effects, which it ended up losing out to The Nightmare Before Christmas. But I will admit, some of it was very cheesy, but some of the effects were actually, particularly the practical effects, I think were good. Also, last piece of trivia, at one point when they're at the police station, they ask Mario his name, and he says Mario, and they say last name, and he says Mario, and they go, Mario, and he goes, yeah. And then they ask Luigi his name, and he says Luigi Mario. And that was a total just thing in the script. And then in 2015, Shigeru Miyamoto, who I think is the president of Nintendo, confirmed that Mario and Luigi's last name is Mario, making their full names Mario and Luigi Mario.
Wow. I actually did not know that was canonized.
I didn't either. Wow. What a wild ride this movie was.
Don't you? Okay, so Goombas in the actual Mario game, don't you kind of think they look like mushrooms?
They are mushrooms. They're supposed to be like the evil mushrooms.
So why, when they're so addicted to fungus in this movie, did they choose to make them alien spacehead creatures?
I think this is the kind of movie you don't really want to ask why.
Yeah, not too many questions. It sounded like everyone hated the couple that was working on it, that they fought the whole time, that they disagreed the whole time. Everyone was like completely changing their minds about how they wanted things to go. I read that one of the people who either wrote the movie or directed it or something had no idea what Super Mario Brothers was.
Yes,
until
that's
like
right.
shooting.
Yeah.
And still probably at the end.
Yeah. I mean, watching this, I would have no idea what Super Mario was about. Would you?
No. If I've watched this and then played a Mario game, I'd be like so relieved.
Yes.
That
Oh
it
my
didn't
God.
suck.
Yes. My God. Okay. What were the ratings for this?
All right. IMDb gives it a 5.7.
Wow. Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes gives it on the tomato meter 27%, and the popcorn meter, the audience meter, is 30%.
That seems correct. Honestly, kind of surprised that it has the same rating as last week's Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach.
Honestly.
Okay. So far we've been steadily increasing our ratings over time. They've gone up every week. Last week, I gave a 2 to the Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach. You gave it a 3. What are we going to give this?
This is hard.
I think I'm going to continue the trend upwards, and I'm going to give it a 3 because it is so terrible that you almost if you haven't seen it, you have to see it at least once because it's such a fucking disaster.
Yeah. I'm gonna do 3. I'll just do a 3. Yeah, I can't go any higher. I can't go any higher than 3.
And I'm assuming this is a beast for both,
It's a
both of
beast.
us.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the nostalgia factor for me for sure about like how wild this was.
Yes.
And I remember parts of it, and I appreciate it as a that it exists because it's so wild. But yeah, that was no resemblance to Mario whatsoever. None.
No.
And poor Daisy needs justice. I'm sorry, she needs justice in a film.
Now, so our next episode, we are watching the first animated movie, which is the one that came out maybe like 7 or 8 years ago, the one with Chris Pratt, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think it was some time in the 2020s.
Okay. All right. Exciting.
Excited for it. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. Have you?
I have. It's been not since it came out though. So
okay.
Yeah, walk down memory lane. Well, if you all want to walk down that lane with us next week and you want to keep hearing us and you want to help us grow, the best thing you could do to help that happen is to rate and review our podcast on whatever you're listening to us on right now.
Also, I'm betting you're pretty popular and have a lot of friends, and I'm sure they would love to listen to our podcast as well, so you should tell them about it.
Yes, you should also find us on social media at RebootyPod on Instagram. You can email us at rebootypod@gmail.com. Give us suggestions. Let us know what you thought about the episodes or the movies we're watching.
Yeah, and thank you so much for listening to Rebooty and the Beast.
See you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.